Hello everyone, I'm Sheena from the Anderson Family Story. I'm back this week sharing another Bible journaling how-to with you. This week's inspiration comes from my blog post this past week about the power of prayer. After writing that blog post, I was inspired to create some bookmarks regarding prayer. You can download your free copy of my bookmarks in the members only library on my blog. I will include a link below. After creating those bookmarks, I decided I wanted to journal one of the verses I included in the bookmarks. If you haven't read my blog post on the power of prayer, make sure you check it out. I'll include a link below. So, when I chose which bookmark that I wanted to journal on, I chose this one, Matthew 6:6, because it is a verse that was recently read in my Reading of the Gospels Bible study. And if you're not familiar with my Reading of the Gospels Bible study, I will include a link to it in the information below as well. But I decided I was going to use my Creative Bible to do this Bible journaling page on. And as you can see, the page that Matthew 6:6 is on does not have anything on it. So I kind of tried to pre-plan a little bit more this time and gather out my supplies. So hopefully I won't be hunting as much this time for what I want to do. I decided that I wanted to start out by taking some prayer hands and putting them in my Bible. And I actually want them to face the opposite way of how they're printed. So I'm going to trim this page down that I printed. And this is just an image that I found on Google Images, and I printed it so that I could trace it into my Bible. I do a lot of tracing images into my Bible just because I'm not the best at drawing. So you don't have to be a great artist to be able to Bible journal. And I'm just kind of trimming this down because my daughter brought me little light box this past week, and it is about the perfect size to be able to use in my Bible. She got it out of one of her art kits. She has two of them. This one says Smart Lab. It's not real bright, but it actually works just perfect for tracing images into my Bible because I can lay the page over it so easily compared to some of them. Well, this one doesn't quite want to work for how big it is, so I'm not going to use that one this time. And because I'm tracing the back of it, it's kind of hard to see. So I'm going to take my black marker and I'm going to trace over the outline of the design on the back side of the paper first. I am laying it over the light box to help me trace over it. Okay, I'm not going to color it in, I'm just going to do an outline. And I want it to be in about the middle of the page. One thing I forgot to get out was my pencil. And this verse says, "But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly." So that's why I'm tracing the praying hands. Okay, so now I'm done tracing the praying hands. And as you all know, my favorite thing to do is watercolor. Now this time I did pick out my watercolors ahead of time. And let me get out my scratch piece of paper, put behind my page. I'm going to color. I'm going to use my earth tones from Stampin' Up! This time. And I'm going to do around the hands in, it's called Not Quite Navy. I don't want it to be real dark. I want it to be kind of a light blue. So I'm not going to press down real hard. I'm going to do it real lightly, so then it just isn't a real dark navy color. And I'm just kind of holding the edge of my page so that as I color, it doesn't pull the page, so it doesn't rip it. Trying to prevent what just happened there. Although my page did not rip, it just kind of pulled it up some. Now that I have colored all around the hands, I'm going to use my aqua painter and I'm going to paint it. Now I did not prep my page beforehand with any gesso or anything like that. I don't have any, well I have some white gesso, but I don't have any clear gesso. And one thing I'm trying to do is instead of buying stuff, I'm trying to use stuff that I already have on hand. I've been trying to make some homemade gesso. If anybody has a good recipe for homemade gesso, please let me know, especially if it's stuff that I already have in my house. I haven't had much luck with the recipes that I have found. I'm just going to keep coloring all around the hands so that the background is blue. I'm just kind of squeezing my aqua painter a little bit as I go along to let out a little bit more water. And as you can see, because I didn't press down real hard with my watercolor crayon, the blue was a light blue instead of a dark blue. Now that I have painted the whole page, I'm going to use my heat gun and dry it. up here still looks more colored instead of water painted, so I'm going to add a little bit more water to it just to kind of help blend it better. And then I'm going to dry it. And this page has a lot of water on it, so it's taking a little bit longer to dry. Now that I have done that, I'm going to take this color called Creamy Caramel to color in the hands. I'm actually going to press down a little bit harder with it because I do want the hands to stand out more than the background. Now I'm going to watercolor them. I'm going to clean off my brush, and then I'm going to dry the page. Backside of that page is a little hot. Okay, now my page is completely dry. See, it crinkled over, but it didn't bleed through real bad, anything like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to add a door frame, because I'm going to put a tip in to be a door. I'm actually going to use this kind of goldish colored washi tape. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to line it up right there and do it like that. And then let me see if I have my little scissors handy. Okay, I don't have my little scissors handy, so I'm just going to use my regular scissors. And I'm going to trim off the washi tape. Sorry about that. And I'm going to trim it off at the top as well. I'm just kind of looking on the other side of the page just to make it a little bit easier to see where I need to cut. So I don't cut the page, but I cut it to the page. And then, also going to put it across the top right here. I'm going to make sure it meets up all the way into the center. And I'm going to try to line it up the best I can across the top. And then I'm going to use my scissors and I'm going to trim it. And there was kind of a curl right there, so I'm going to go ahead and trim that off of my washi tape. So then next time I'll have an even edge. This washi tape doesn't seem to have the best stick to it. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this white piece of cardstock and get my ruler so I can measure. Let's see. This washi tape is 1 inch wide. So I want my door to be about 4.5 inches wide by 6 3/4 inches tall. So I'm just going to use my paper trimmer, and my paper's kind of wrinkled up over here, so I'm going to trim off that part. I said 6 3/4, so by 4.5. And I made it a little bit wider than my opening so that I can use that for attaching it in and having a little bit of room to be able to fold it. If I had one of the little pieces that go on my paper cutter that'll score the page so it doesn't cut it, but it just kind of makes it where it'll bend, then I would use that at 4 so that it would help my page bend up. Since I don't, I'm going to have to think about it for a moment of how I'm going to go about doing that. What I'll probably do is use my ruler and just kind of, draw me a faint line with my pencil to mark 4 inches, because I know that's where I want it to fold at. And then once I do that, this is a metal ruler, so it'll probably fold up against that metal ruler pretty well. And I'll just kind of, there we go. That works perfect. And then this part that I folded up will be the part that I tape, and then the other part will be the part that lays down. So this is going to be my door, because remember we're going into the closet to pray. And I'm going to color it with watercolors. I'm actually going to take, it's called Chocolate Chip, and I'm going to color the whole page. I'm going to color it a little bit darker than I did when I did the blue. And I'm actually also going to color over past the fold just a little bit, just in case when I tape it in, it doesn't get taped in just perfectly. Then it'll all still be covered. And I can't remember if I told you or not, but this was just a piece of white cardstock that I had in my stash from Hobby Lobby. You can pick it up at Michael's, anywhere. And you could even use just regular white paper if you wanted to. I just wanted to use cardstock because it's a little bit thicker. And then I'm just going to paint it. Okay, now I'm going to dry it. And then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to mark on it every ½ inch with my pencil. And then I'm going to take my brown marker that matches this color of watercolor, and I'm going to use my ruler. I'm going to draw a line, each of those marks, kind of like slats in a door. I'm just using the edge of my ruler across the end of the paper to make sure it's straight, and then going up the side of my ruler with the marker. Then I'm also going to use this marker and make me a door handle. Just draw me a circle on there. Try to make it as round as possible. And this washi tape is not sticking in as well as I would like it to. So I'm actually also going to use my glue stick, and this is just regular Walmart brand glue stick. I'm going to put, not Walmart brand, Target brand glue stick. I'm going to put it right there, and I want it to hold my door down and kind of help hold the washi tape down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my door and then just kind of go over the edge right here with the glue stick. And then I'm going to put that down. Then I'm going to take my washi tape and I'm going to, if I can find the end, there it is, run it down the edge as well. Like that. And then again I'm going to cut it off. You want to be careful not to cut the page, but just cut the washi tape and to get it as close to the page as possible. now I have the door or a closet to go in and pray. Because this washi tape right here in this corner wants to keep kind of popping up, I'm going to take my glue stick and kind of pull this washi tape up, give it a little extra stick. Okay. Then I'm going to take my ink joy pen and I'm going to put down here at the bottom, Matthew, six, and today's date, which is January 22nd, 2018. So, and on this one, I debated on doing hand lettering, but I decided not to. I felt like the artwork was kind of self-explanatory enough. If somebody sees it and they don't know the verse, it's going to encourage them to open their Bible and to read the verse to know, well, why did she do what she did on that page? So that's why I decided not to do any hand lettering on this page and just to include it the way I did. Now, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.